Bit of an update video tonight. So this is the 6-month review update on the Redwing Iron Rangers. So these are the 8111s, so they're the amber harness leather. As I say, been wearing these for about 6 months. Thought I should do a little update on them. There's a few other shoes that I need to give you an update on as well. Most recently we did the Chuckers there. Obviously I'm wearing these in rotation with other boots. Please take that into account when we look at things like sole wear and so forth. But yeah, they've seen plenty of wear and they've been really nice to break in. So I thought I'd share some thoughts. I'll go over the basic design of these boots as well. Bit of repetition from the previous video, but if you haven't seen that, it might be useful. So these are obviously a round toe boot. They're one of the oldest Redwing designs. So this design dates back to the 1930s, where these came into use as a work boot. So the toe cap there, the double leather toe cap, is designed to provide a little bit of protection for miners, I think it was. Obviously by modern standards, a leather toe cap does not a lot, but you know, that's what you had back in those days. Very similar to the blacksmiths, which I've had before. I took these in a different size, actually I went down half a size, and I'll get onto that in just a second, but yeah, somewhat familiar with these, with the Vibram micro lug soles there. Quite hard wearing, but a little bit tough underfoot sometimes. But yeah, they've been really nice to break in. So just a little bit about the leather, which is actually the reason why I picked this particular model, because I don't think I'd had the amber harness from Redwing before. The amber harness is a full grain oiled leather with a sort of a fairly waxy feel. These haven't been treated in any way since I've started wearing them, so they're still got plenty of oils in them, I think, looking good. The leather is normally used for things like horse riding tack, so the harnesses and such, hence the name, and it's just incredibly durable, stain resistant, and initially I thought it'd be fairly tough to break in, but in a moment we'll get on to what that experience was like. But spoiler, it wasn't too tough to break in at all. As I say, I've not treated these at all. I find that Redwing leathers are pretty oily straight out of the box. In terms of when these were created, these were fairly fresh when I got them, so they're 0921s, so fairly fresh out of the factory. They hadn't had time to dry out in storage, so I haven't treated these at all. A bit of mink oil will probably be the product for these. It will darken them, and I much prefer that slightly dry look where you get the different hues in the leather more readily. I know it's not the best thing for the leather, but they seem to hold up just fine. So no particular care on these so far, apart from maybe a brush around the welt, just dusting off the dust and debris and stuff. But yeah, really easy to live with. So in terms of the fit and breaking in experience, as I said earlier, went down half a size on these. That is my hard recommendation now for round toe boots. So the Chuckers, the Rovers that I've featured before, anything with a round toe from Redwing, I'm finding that going down half a size from my true size is a way to go. Still maintain that going true to size is right for the mock toes. That's just my experience, but certainly these 1907s have done really well. And just in terms of my approach to boot care, these have seen a fair old bit of wear. Nothing but a brush on these, and the leather's doing absolutely fine, and I think it looks great. So my recommendation, only treat your boots when absolutely essential. If you're going to get them soaked all the time, then yeah, I think you probably oil them up. But if you're wearing them fairly casually, then yeah, run them dry, I'd say. So yeah, so a half size down. This is a 8 last boot, so it's got a fairly roomy toe box. Got what they describe as a bump toe to give you extra room in there for your toes. And yeah, just really easy to break in. The soles are a little bit hard underfoot. I'm not a believer in insoles personally. I find that they always displace themselves and just generally be a bit more of a hassle than their worth, but a bit hard underfoot. The midsole broke in fairly quickly, which definitely helps with that comfort. Thick socks, a little bit more often in terms of break-in. So initially straight out of the box, wearing them for half an hour or so around the house. Yeah, no real issues. They've given where they need to, just on the sides here. The toes are holding their shape really nicely. I can't say that I found these hard break-in at all. But yeah, your mileage might vary. No rubbing up on the back stay there. Yeah, just really easy to live with. Very easy to break in. And yeah, really enjoyed living with these for 6 months. So what we'll do is we'll come in and take a look in some detail at how they're holding up. And then we'll wrap it up. Just coming in for some close-ups. We'll start from the bottom. You've got the Vibram mini lug sole there, starting to wear down a little bit on the ball of the foot there. A couple more months and some of these stitches will undoubtedly pop off. As far as I'm aware, that's really just to hold the sole together as it's constructed, as the glue sets. Might be wrong, but those threads wearing out has no material impact. So you've got the heel unit there. I think going back to the form and function of these, having a heel was good for the workman that these were originally designed for, because it could lock into the ladder, whereas a Christie sole doesn't offer that sort of support. Slightly rounding off the heel a little, but that's just how I walk. As I said earlier, these soles are pretty hard underfoot, not a lot of padding. But as soon as the sort of cork and leather midsole breaks in, it is pretty comfy. But if you're pounding concrete streets, you might find them slightly fatiguing, but I think they're fine. Obviously Goodyear welted. This is a 270 welt, so it just stops there at the side of the heel stay. Both sides. That just allows a neater, what I'd describe almost as a more formal look. So it's just tighter on the heel there. Whilst we're back there, the heel cap is actually external on these boots, so it's stitched in on the outer side underneath this heel stay. Slightly sort of rounding off to the sides there, but plenty of support. I do really like this heel stay. I think it looks really nice detailing. A triple Puritan stitch all the way around, and on the sides of the quarter there. And then coming up, you've got the toe cap, the bump toe as they call it. It's got sort of quite a significant profile there, but I think it looks really good. And just yielding nicely as it breaks in, but keeping its shape. Obviously got a mix of eyelets and speed hooks, which I really quite like. And the leather is, as I say, this oily amber harness. There's plenty of oil still in there. Not the biggest sort of pull-up effect. But yeah, doesn't need any treatment yet. And I just quite like how slightly dried leather shows up the scuffs and just brings out that sort of two-tone patina. Just moving on to the other boot, which I've opened up. Obviously, without the laces, you can see the bellows tongue, which is useful just to keep the debris and water ingress out your boots. And of all the things I don't do to my boots, what I do like to do is get that bit brushed out, just to make sure nothing's stuck in there and damaging leather. Always like the way the laces leave imprints in the tongue. I think that looks quite nice. And on the inside, you can see it all in there. You can see it's got the leather heel pad. And below that is another thick chunk of leather, and under that again there's a sort of a cork and glue layer, which just yields to match your foot, which I think ends up with a very comfortable fitted boot. On the inside of the tongue there, you can see it on camera, but you've got 0921, which means these were manufactured in September 21. And yeah, that's about it. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of the review. I hope you found that useful. If you're interested in picking these up and you're in Europe or the UK, you might want to check out Herring Shoes. This is where I got them from. 10% discount code below, which isn't bad. It's always nice to get 10% off Red Wings. If you haven't seen my channel before, please check it out. Lots of boot reviews, denim, everyday carry, fountain pens, pen knives, torches, that sort of stuff. Do check it out. You might find we share some other common interests. If you thought this review was useful, please give it a thumbs up. If you've had experiences with these boots yourselves, please put it down in the comments, share your thoughts, and that's about it. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.